What is a grid? A grid is another name for a permutation set, or you could think of it as an exercise pattern. The advantage to grids is that they're very adaptable and they're pretty easy to memorize. So we're going to be using two types of grids. The first one is based off of stick control, and what's happening in that is reversing. And the second one is based off of syncopation, and what's happening in that is moving. So let's check them out. In stick control grids, we have a pattern, and then we flip it backwards. Then we have a new pattern, and we flip it backwards. In our syncopation grid, we do what's called moving figures through other figures. In this example, A is moving through these B's. So let's take a look at an example with some rhythms. In this example, which is reversing, our A's are eighth notes and our B's are quarter notes. And we'll keep the same values for a moving grid. This time, though, our eighth notes are moving through the quarter notes. They move from beat 1 to beat 2 to beat 3 and beat 4. So what's a gauntlet? A gauntlet is a grid of grids. What does that mean? It means that every square in this graph you see right here is a grid. For example, the circled square right now is the grid AB. This is the grid AC. So if we put them all together, we get 9 grids from this gauntlet. So why do we need grids and gauntlets? The first reason to use grids is to get organized with your practice. You can use grids and gauntlets to tackle big goals like kick speed or fills or odd time playing or rudiments. The second advantage to using grids and gauntlets in your practice is to cover blind spots. They'll force you to do exercises that you wouldn't have thought up on your own. And the third advantage is because they force you to come up with new and creative ideas. Again, you probably wouldn't think of everything that shows up in a grid on your own. So here's a couple of quick tips for using them. First of all, you want to memorize at least one grid. And you want to write down what you're doing to stay organized. This stuff can get really overwhelming. Speaking of, it's better to do it for about 15 to 30 minutes a day rather than trying to play a whole gauntlet in one sitting. Trying to play an entire gauntlet in one sitting is usually a recipe for going crazy. So take it slow. It's better to do a little bit every day. Okay, we're going to use a lot of these grids and gauntlets in our coming lessons, so hope you guys get it. If you have any questions, shoot me a message or an email. Happy drums to you. See you next time.